Hello guys, my name's Colin and this is Colin Talks Crypto. Many of you have requested that I do additional videos in the series and the subject of cashing out when the Bitcoin price reaches new all-time highs and breaks into uncharted territory. Thank you for joining me. I just want to thank all of you guys for watching my videos. Please like, subscribe, smash that like button, share it on social media. It helps me get my message out to others, and that's the only pay that I ask for. Due to the rising price of Bitcoin over the past few months, ever since March, I've had an increasing number of requests to do a cash out plan video. And I did a couple cash out plan videos about 2 years ago, and I'm going to keep you in the loop as we climb the bull run to the new all-time high every step of the way. In typical Colin Talks Crypto fashion, I've got myself some notes here, so I'll be using that throughout the video to keep myself on point. Now, one of the first and most important subjects to address here is the subject of where's the price going to peak out? And no one knows where the price is going to peak out. We don't know where the top is going to be. All we have is our best educated guesses based on past historical data, which may or may not pan out fully as we expect. And anyone that tells you that they know exactly where the top's going to be is lying to you, because no one knows that answer. So I want that to be very on the forefront of your mind during this video. And I think that that's one of the most important foundational understandings you can have before attempting to design a cash out plan, is that we do not know exactly where the top's going to be. So any model that we do is going to be based on our best guess. And I want to paint a clear picture of this for you. So now on the side here, I'm going to show you an example of a past bull run, and I'm going to slide right on this bull run and show you more and more time as we move on. And as you're watching this, if you were in the middle of this bull run and this is where you were at, is this where you would sell your tokens? Or how much of your tokens would you sell at this point right here? Now let's say we move the chart a little further over. This looks pretty steep, right? So how much would you sell at this point? Are we at the top? Do you know if we're at the top? Does anyone know? People might be saying it on Twitter and on YouTube. Is this the top? Well, it just so happens it's not the top, and we can slide further. So as you can see, it's quite difficult in the moment to know exactly where the top will be, and no one knows. So I'm showing you this chart to paint the picture that we're not going to know exactly. One thing I am going to be paying attention to is how steeply we are climbing and for how long of a period of time, as well as many other metrics that we are going to cover in future videos as well. So the lesson to be learned from this little demonstration is that it's difficult to know in the moment what we later know in hindsight about the top of the price. Everyone can look back in 2017, 2018 and say that we peaked around $20,000 because we have the benefit of hindsight. We do not have the benefit of hindsight when we're in the moment. And so we're going to make everything based on our best guesstimations. Now I want to show you a chart that I made here, and I'll put this on the screen so you can see what I'm saying. And I just want to go over a couple of the past bull runs with you. So we have a bull run peak in 2011. We peaked at $31. And that was really the first major top that Bitcoin had seen. Afterward, it dropped 94% to $2. Now the next bull run peak was in 2013. At the end of 2013, it was a 37x increase, and it peaked at $1,153. Afterwards, it dropped by 85%, down to $173. The next bull run, the one that you're all probably familiar with, the most recent one in 2017, was a 17x increase over the previous all-time high, reaching around $20,000. Afterwards, it dropped by 84%, down to about $3,191. And you can see there's a bit of a pattern here. There is a bit of a commonality between these bull runs. And so while we don't know for sure that that's how it's going to pan out, we can use that to help us judge approximately what we might expect to see. And again, many factors can play into this. So what is the multiplier we're going to see in the 2021 Bitcoin bull run? And will it end in 2021? Is it going to be a 6-digit figure? Is it still going to be 5 digits? How much of a multiplier? Is it going to be 37x like in 2013? Is it going to be 17x like in 2017? Is it going to be less? Is it going to be more? Now, one thing I want to point out are some of the follies that I've seen. And I think that this might be due to the newness that some people are in the crypto space for, and they haven't lived through all these different Bitcoin bull runs to know how it truly pans out. But I'll just give you an example, and I'm not picking on this person by any means. I'm just using it as an example that I've actually seen. Chico Crypto did a cash out plan video in response to my video. In that video, he stated he'll start to do his cash out plan around $30,000 or $40,000. Now, in a more recent video, apparently, per one of my subscribers, he apparently modified that to start pulling out and taking profits around the $13,000 mark. Now, right now, we're at about $11,000, so $13,000 is not far away. And in both of those cases, I think that those are mistakes. Those are mistakes to start pulling out profits, especially if you've been in this for the long run. If you've been in this since the last bull run peak even, I think that selling at $13,000 is a huge mistake. And I think that selling at $30,000 or $40,000 is also a pretty big mistake. And the reason for that is that every past bull run that we've had so far has been tremendously higher than the last all-time high. If you take a $30,000 or $40,000 figure, that's like 2x the previous all-time high. And have you seen it ever only 2x? It is never historically only 2x. 2xing is a pathetic amount of gain for a new all-time high price peak for a new bull run. We saw 37x in 2013, we saw 17x in 2017. So between these two, 17x and 37x, if you look at selling at 2x, it does seem kind of silly. And so I would say at a worst case scenario, and this is not financial advice and nothing in this video is financial advice, but speaking for myself personally, when I look at this, I can see a pattern here. It appears that the gains drop in half every time. We had a 37x in 2013, and about half of that is 17x in 2017. So I would not call it unreasonable to expect about an 8x in 2021. An 8x would put us at about $160,000 per Bitcoin. And while I do think that's a conservative guess, I do think that that's a better guess than 30,000, 40,000, or even 13,000, which are just cutting the mark way too low, way too much lost profits, and just way too impatient. And so I think that those investors who wait, I'm going to be one of them, wait longer than 30,000 to start selling are going to be handsomely rewarded. And the goal is to take half of my profits up to the point where the price reaches my price target. And if you've seen some of my previous videos, you know that I do expect to see approximately a 66x gain from the current market cycle's low of $3,191. So if you take 66x times $3,100, you get approximately $200,000+, a little over $200,000. So I'm shooting to have 50% of my crypto holdings sold by the point where we reach $215,000 or so. Now, if we don't reach that amount, I will have already been selling up to that point, so I will have taken some profits. And if we end up going way past that, let's say we go to like 300,000, I still have 50% beyond the point where my price target is. So that's why I said at the beginning of this video, no one knows where the final price is. I don't know where the final price is. All I can do is guesstimate where I think it will be and set up a plan according to what I foresee happening. And I need to make it a cushy plan so that in case I'm wrong, I still have some good moves lined up for myself. And that's the reason for trading in increments on the way up to my price target. And that's the reason for even selling beyond my price target if it does surpass that. I also want to make it clear that this quote unquote cash out plan is really just temporary. My goal is to own more cryptocurrency. I am a diehard crypto fanatic. I believe in crypto for the long run, not just as a speculative asset, but as something that's truly transformative and changing the face of the planet we live on. So for me, holding fiat is not really interesting to me. Holding fiat is only a temporary alternative to massive price drops in the case of a bear market, such as in 2011 when we had a 94% drop down to $2. And in 2013, we had an 85% drop down to $173. And in 2017, we had an 84% drop down to $3,191. So I don't think that this pattern is necessarily going to end. In 2021, when we reach the new all-time high, I'm damn well expecting there to be an 80% or more drop down to a new low that's higher than previous lows. And that's the reason for the cash out plan. It's really more of a temporary hedging against the inevitable bear market correction cash out plan, with the final goal of buying back into cryptocurrency once the price has fully settled after all the waiting. And it historically has taken a number of years after the bull market peak to reach the new low. So I need to be able to have my funds in an asset that not only holds its value for 2 years, I also need to have the willpower to hold it for that entire 2 years. And I think that that patience of waiting for that 2 years is going to be one of the hardest things for me personally, because I have a tendency to want my money into crypto. I don't want to be sitting on the sidelines in fiat. But there's a time and a place for multiplying one's crypto, and I believe that these massive bull runs and these massive bear markets are the way to pull it off. In the past, I've greatly appreciated my holding abilities and even more greatly regretted that I only held and didn't take profits. For example, in the 2017 bull run, holding all the way through that bear market, I made profit, but I lost a good chunk of it. 84% was the drop after that peak. And I know that I can do better. And when you have the halving event every 4 years, there are certain technical indicators that line up that definitely increase the odds of this being a successful trade and a successful strategy. So that's the reason why I'm all about this taking profits this time around. So in 2021, I think in the late part of the year, I think we'll see our new all-time high price peak. And I think that we're going to see it easily surpass $100,000. I think that it's also realistic to expect it to surpass $200,000. So I think that's one of my most important bits of advice and tip is just look at this chart and decide for yourself, do you think that Bitcoin's going to top out at $30,000 or $40,000? And if you do, then by all means set up your strategy accordingly to that prediction. But based on what I'm seeing here, I don't see that the price is going to peak at $30,000 or $40,000. I don't think that we personally waited 3 or 4 years for the price to only have saved up as much energy as it has saved to reach only $30,000 or $40,000. So I think that that is a mistake, and I don't want to see any of you guys make that mistake. But definitely do your own due diligence, do your own research, and make your own decision, because I'm not a financial advisor. So the 2 biggest mistakes I can see one making in this upcoming bull run is A, selling too early, and B, not selling at all and just riding through the whole bull market. You'll come out better than you were, but you could have made a huge gain on that opportunity of cashing out and then rebuying in. And that's what I'm looking at here in my cash out plans. So in this video, I'm actually not going to break it down any further than that, because we're not even at the point where I would consider it important to start even being concerned with cashing out. I'm not even excited about cashing out yet. We're only at $11,000. I know that when we hit $20,000, the media and everyone's going to be super pumped and super hyped as we reach the new all-time high, and I will be too. But I'm still not going to be excited about cashing out, because I know that we're going to hit multipliers far higher than 1x of the previous all-time high. So I hope that that sinks that message in for you guys. Now lastly, you may be wondering about altcoins, every other cryptocurrency that exists. How are they going to perform? And we do have some information and historical data that kind of helps us understand what we might see in the upcoming Bitcoin bull run as it relates to altcoins. And I want to read this from this article to you. So it says, we can also see Ripple and Ethereum have been in sync with Bitcoin's movements, but peaking after Bitcoin. In both peaks that the 2 major altcoins saw, Ripple peaked first, and this was followed shortly by Ethereum. And we're talking about when the Bitcoin bull run peaked out, the actual peak for Ethereum and Ripple were actually after the Bitcoin bull run. And that's probably because people who reached that peak of Bitcoin wanted to save their profits and wanted to move into other assets that hadn't reached their full potential yet. And they wanted to capture some of that profit. So they moved it into Ethereum and Ripple. And this was back in 2017. This is important to note for investors who are holding Ethereum-based tokens as well. Should history decide to repeat itself, we could once again see 2 phases of altcoins. The first to coincide with BTC reclaiming $20,000, and the second after BTC peaks during the next bull market. We must emphasize that this is purely based on historical analysis, and by no means guaranteed. It is essential to note that the adoption of the crypto space is likely to speed up, as demand continues to grow in a class with a finite supply. What is very clear, however, is that the entire space is still very much in its infancy, and there is plenty of room for not just Bitcoin, but all valuable projects to continue to grow. So guys, this is very exciting. I'm with you in this journey. Please subscribe if you haven't already, as I continue to update you on our very exhilarating run up to the next bull run peak. And I will be making an increasing number of videos as I start to get more and more excited, because honestly, I'm a little bored right now. $11,000, yes, it's better than $3,000 at the bottom, but we're not even at the all-time high yet. So call me when we get excited, guys. When we hit 2x, my interest will peak a little bit. When we hit 40,000, I'll be like, When we hit 80,000, I'll start looking a little more interestedly. When we break 6 digits, that's when I start getting interested. And I start lining up my cash out plan and selling and diversifying my assets into stable coins, whatever the best stable coin is at that point. Maybe some precious metals if they're not too exorbitantly marked up with bullion premiums, and maybe some property, maybe some real estate. I want whatever is going to hold the value of my money the longest. I'll probably even save some into fiat, into dollars, on the exchange itself, on a trusted exchange. I'll do a combination of these things to diversify my assets while I wait for that bear market to finish correcting. Okay guys, that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to keep you up to date on my thoughts and let you know that I am looking at this, I am paying attention. We're just not quite close enough for me to be truly exhilarated about where we're at price-wise. Call me when we hit 20,000. Have a great day.